Hey friends, how y'all doing? Tyra here with Inspired Life, where hearts are inspired to live fully in the mind, in the body, and in the spirit. Listen, it is my sheer delight to bring you all the practical strategies for living well holistically, okay? Our health is a total package. It's not isolated merely to what we eat and what we drink, but it's also what we think. It's also how we move. It's also how we build our spiritual lives. They're all interconnected and tied together, work together to help build you to be a whole person. So anytime you come into contact with Inspired Life, know that you're going to get the holistic strategies for living well. Okay, the holistic strategies. And I'm so happy to be joining you today, the first of the month. It is March 1st, and this month is Women's History Month. So I'm celebrating all of you women, beautiful women who are living, working hard every day, making history, making her story, writing her story in your individual spheres of influence. In your home, in your workplace, you're doing the doggone thing. You hear me? You are doing the doggone thing. So it is also National Nutrition Month. Okay, so the month of March is National Nutrition Month. So that's what I'm coming to talk to you about today. If you caught the title of the broadcast, this is National Nutrition Month. And today we're going to be talking about making informed food choices. You got that? Making informed food choices. Because when we sit down to eat, or when we go to the store to buy something, or when we sit at a restaurant and choose an item off of the menu, we want to ensure that we're making an informed decision, okay? We don't want to just be picking up anything, just eating anything, just doing anything, and not having made an informed decision. So today I'm going to be sharing with you all 5 steps, 5 things you can do to make an informed food choice. You got that? 5 things you can do to make an informed food choice, okay? Because when you make other decisions, when you decide what school your kids are going to go to, when you decide where you're going to go for vacation, when you decide what clothes you're going to buy, you do that having made an informed decision. When you decide where you're going to live, what house you're going to purchase, what apartment you're going to rent, what condo you're going to rent, you do that having made an informed decision. And the same thing is the case with our food consumption. We should be making informed decisions, all right? There are benefits to making informed decisions. When we make informed decisions regarding our food, we're in control, we're empowered. We're empowered because we know the ingredients we're putting in our bodies. We're empowered because we know how this food will affect our temple. We're empowered because we know that we've put thought and intention behind what we're eating. When we make informed food choices, we are empowered to manage our weight, to manage our cholesterol, to manage our blood pressure, to manage our sugar levels. We are empowered when we make informed food choices. Now, the converse is also true, right? So the opposite, when we do not make informed food choices, we put ourselves at a detriment. Oh my goodness. We put ourselves in a position where we can be consuming things that are harmful to our bodies. We put ourselves in a position where we can be consuming things that are detrimental to our health. When we don't make informed food decisions, we can be putting things in our bodies that our bodies don't even recognize and don't know what to do with. When we make decisions that are not informed, we give our power away. So we want to be operating from a position of power. We want to be operating on the offense. We don't want to be dealing with our health from a defensive or a reactionary standpoint. We want to be on the offense, making strategic moves to ensure that we are in abundant health, to ensure that we are in radiant health, to ensure that we're positioning not only ourselves, but our families to inherit a legacy of generational health. All right. So here you go. Let me give them to you right quick. Your 5 steps, your 5 things you're going to do for making informed food choices. All right. So step number 1 is don't eat blindly. Don't eat blindly. Don't just pick up any old thing and start munching on it and you don't know what's in it. Do not eat blindly. When you eat, be a knowledgeable, educated consumer. Let's say you're planning, let's see, what month is this now? This is March. Let's say you're planning your summer vacation, your family's summer getaway. And you guys have decided that you're going to travel to Florida. Okay, so you're going on your summer getaway. You're traveling to Florida. And you've decided you're going to stay in an Airbnb. When you decide that you're going to Florida and you're going to stay in an Airbnb, tell me what you do. You know what you do. You know exactly what you do. You sit at your computer. Maybe you open several tabs. You might be looking from your laptop and your phone all at the same time. You're on Vrbo, you're on Airbnb, you're comparing. You're looking at the bedrooms, how they're decorated, the number of bedrooms. You're reading about the amenities in the area. You're reading the reviews, okay? You're reading the reviews. You do all this due diligence, don't you? To plan your trip, to ensure that where you're habitating is going to be a place where you can relax, where you're going to feel comfortable, perhaps where it will feel like home. Or if you're spending money to go away from home, you may even want your accommodations to feel a little bit more luxury. I don't know, but I do know this. When you're planning to stay at that Airbnb, you have done your due diligence to check it all out. You have done your due diligence to be knowledgeable, educated, and research that habitation that you're going to have when you go on vacation. The same thing for your body, right? Your body is a holy habitation. So that same level of due diligence that we take to plan our vacation is the same level of due diligence that we need to have when we eat. Thank you all for joining today. If you just joined the broadcast, we are talking about, it's National Nutrition Month, so we're talking about making healthy, informed food choices. And so our first one is we are not going to eat blindly. We're going to be knowledgeable, educated consumers. We're going to know what we're putting in our bodies. Because just like we want the right habitation when we go on vacation, your body is a holy habitation. It's the temple of the Holy Spirit. And it deserves the same level of attention and care and education that you put into these other things. Okay? So you got to know what you're consuming and putting in your body. The second thing that we're going to do, Diva Deluxe Mom, thank you for joining as we talk about making informed food choices. So the second thing that we're going to do is we're going to know how our bodies respond to the food that we're consuming, okay? So even if something is healthy, it may not agree with your body. Listen to your body. Be knowledgeable and in tune with your body, how your body reacts to certain food, and then you have to make a conscious decision to avoid those foods. That's how you make an informed food choice. How does my body respond to food I'm consuming? If I'm eating dairy and then I'm all cramped and doubled over afterward, or it gives somebody the runs or something like that, why keep eating it? Why put your body through that torture? Your body is intuitive. It's a finely tuned, it's a meticulous just work of art, and it is so intuitive that it speaks to you. It relays messages to you. If you eat carbs and then you find that your joints are stiff or your joints hurt, then your body is telling you something. So we have to listen to our body's cues. Our body is so intelligent, and we should not try to override that intelligence. We should not dumb down that body's intelligence, nor should we ignore it, all right? So when we're making informed food choices, the first thing we're doing is we're not going to eat blindly. We're going to be knowledgeable, educated consumers. The second thing is we're going to listen to our body and its cues to know what we should eat and the things that we should avoid. If we're eating something and it's causing us headaches, if you eat sugar or something and then you get a headache thereafter, why do we keep doing this to ourselves? Why are we torturing ourselves? So we're going to listen to the body. All right, third thing we're going to do is we are going to read labels. Now, just off the break, let me say that most of the food that you're eating really shouldn't need a nutrition label, right? Because if you're eating kale and collard greens and black eyed peas, those things, while they may have a label, generally they don't need a label, all right? It came straight out the earth. It doesn't really need a label because it's that single ingredient. So when you're eating, though, if you're eating something that has a label, know how to read the labels. Now, if you're reading the label and it is things on there that you cannot pronounce, is that something you should be ingesting? Maybe not. If you're reading the label and the first 5 ingredients contain refined carbohydrates, processed carbs, if it contains sugar, if it's high in sodium, these are things we want to avoid. So we have to read labels. And as you're reading the label, remember, you're an educated consumer now. You're knowledgeable. You look up other stuff on the internet. You can look these things up. If you're reading the label and the thing says soy protein isolate, just ask yourself, what the heck is that? What is a soy protein isolate? Google it and see. It's like I may not know what isolate means, but I know if I isolate, I'm by myself. So what is a food when they isolate a part of it, and then what is that going to do to my body? So we're going to be educated, knowledgeable consumers, healthy kids, happy kids. Thank you for joining. I'm sure I'm talking about things that are near and dear to your heart. In National Nutrition Month, I'm talking about 5 things we could do to make informed food choices. So you all be mindful, read those labels. Those things that are the first 5 things listed are the key. It's going to tell you what's in it. If you pick up a yogurt and sugar is number 2, are you eating a yogurt or are you eating sugar? What are you really eating? Come on now, let's tell the truth. If you go to your favorite coffee place and you ever Google the ingredients in some of your favorite coffee, it's coffee and then number 2 is sugar. So are you drinking coffee or are you just drinking a cup of sugar? So be an informed consumer and read the labels. And let's move it to be such that our goal is eating things that are like single ingredient, right? And then we don't have to worry too much about all this labeling. It won't be an issue. We'll know what's in it. When I eat my kale, I'm eating my kale. Hey, I may be eating a few bugs, but I've washed it and it's all good. I know I'm eating kale. If I'm eating an onion, I'm eating an onion. If I'm eating a red pepper, I'm eating a red pepper. So those things don't necessarily have labeling. So let's look at our number 3 thing that we can do here in National Nutrition Month. Thank you all for joining as we talk about 5 things that we can do to be informed, make informed food choices. You're not just eating willy-nilly. You're not just eating blindly. The days of that are over. No, y'all are intelligent, you're smart, you educated, you research everything else. So we're going to do the same with our food. Step number 4 to being an informed and knowledgeable food consumer is to even ask yourself. Step 4, check with yourself. Do I even need to be eating right now? Ask yourself that question. Do I need to be eating right now? Sometimes we're eating and we're not actually hungry. We're not actually hungry. So right now it's afternoon time. It depends on when you're watching this or what location you're watching from. It may be your lunchtime. But are you hungry? So are you going to eat just because it's lunchtime, or are you actually hungry? Most often people are confusing hunger with thirst. So before you even go to eat, drink a big cup of water and then reassess if you're actually hungry. You're not bound to eat just because it's a time of day. Just think back like 200 years ago when you had to forage for your own food, grow your own food, or barter and trade for your own food. You wouldn't have just been eating willy-nilly all day, because just access to food may not have been that way. And what you would have had access to would have been limited to what was in season, to what was available, to what you canned, So we wouldn't just be eating all day. We probably would have been eating in a shorter window. And we would have probably been eating out of hunger, not out of boredom, not out of stress, not out of anxiety. We want to be mindful of, why am I eating? Am I even hungry right now? So allow our bodies, not our emotion, to make that decision on whether or not we should be eating. I hope y'all are still tracking with me. All right, step number 5, thing number 5 we're going to do to make informed food choices. This is National Nutrition Month. I want you and your family spotlighting, bringing some light, drawing attention to eating well this month. I'm going to be coming to you all month long with your practical strategies on how you can bolster your nutrition this month. And we're starting right here just with the decision making around food. And so step number 5, thing that you're going to do to make informed food choices is to choose well. All right? Choose well. Choose well. As with anything in life, what we eat is a choice. So are you going to choose foods that add to your health, or are you going to choose to consume foods which detract from your health? All right? There's a Bible verse, Deuteronomy 30:19, which says this: I place heaven and earth as witnesses against you today, that I have placed before you. It says, actually, I have called. I have placed before you life, death, blessing, and cursing. Choose life. Choose life, that you and your descendants may live. So when we're making food choices, we want to consume things that are life. We want to choose life. And what foods bring life? The good of the earth. Plants, seeds, fruits, nuts, vegetables. These are the things that promote, sustain, and give life. So you want to be sure that when you're making informed food choices, that you are choosing foods which are going to sustain you, which are going to empower you. You want to be eating foods which are high in antioxidants, which are going to kill those and grab onto those free radicals that want to do harm in your body. You want to choose food that's going to help to oxygenate your cells. That is what's going to give you life, health, vitality in your body. You want to choose foods which are going to give you strength, which are going to give you stamina to be able to carry out all the work you got to do. Listen, friend, I know you got a lot to do. I do too. And guess what? I need to be energized. I need to have the mental clarity. Do you know the food that you eat actually impacts your thinking, Do you know that your degree of hydration or dehydration even impacts your thinking? So you need to be able to think clear. You need to have the energy to do all you've been called to do. And when you choose well, when you choose foods which actually support good health, then you will have the energy and the vigor to do all the stuff you have to do, okay? So today we covered 5 things. Did y'all get them? The 5 things that we can do to make informed food choices. Let me recap them right quick. First, we said we are not going to eat blindly. No, we're not going to eat blindly. You're not going to go stay in that Airbnb blindly. You're going to make sure that you read the reviews, that you're going to look at every picture. You're going to scroll through, scroll. You're going to do your due diligence. And so the same thing with your food. You're not going to eat blindly. If you go to a restaurant and you're eating that bun, that bread or something, you don't know what's in it. They made a sauce. You don't know what's in it unless you're asking questions. And so cooking at home really does empower us to not eat blindly. The second thing that we're going to do is we're going to know how our bodies respond to the food. Then we're going to read labels. We're going to ask ourselves, am I even hungry? Why am I eating this? And then finally, we are going to choose well, okay? Now, if you need more help doing that, I've already mapped out all these strategies for you in my Fully Nourished coaching program. I done already laid it out for you. We go through all of these so that I help you build a kitchen which supports optimal wellness. That's what you want. You want to be in health and prosper even as your soul prospers. And today is the last day to register for Fully Nourished. So I encourage you to click the link in the bio, visit my website so y'all can get here ASAP for this 6-week group coaching program so that you are establishing a kitchen which supports your good health. All right, friends. So National Nutrition Month, we'll be talking about these tips and more. If you want to dig deeper in setting up that kitchen which supports optimal wellness, be sure you visit my website for Fully Nourished. Otherwise, I shall see you soon, friends. God bless, take care, and as always, it is my prayer that you've been inspired to live fully. Make it a great day.